What's up everyone, Tom from the Airsoft headquarters here, and welcome back to the channel. Today on the 5-Minute Fix series, we're going to be talking about CO2 versus green gas, some of the pros and cons with each single one. One of the most often discussed topics that we see on the internet and in person with Airsoft is if you should go with a CO2 pistol or a green gas pistol, which is a good conversation to have. We generally will recommend going with CO2 within colder temperature environments due to the higher pressure that CO2 outputs. Now these guys are 12 gram CO2 canister, and these output from the nozzle 900 PSI, pounds per square inch, which sounds like a lot and is a lot. But we will bring in trusted brands and reliable companies that have a good manufacturing system, such as the Elite Force 1911 here. These have been on the market for 8 years now, and they have an excellent reputation with that regulator system in the magazine to take that 900 PSI, mix it around, and then have a BB shoot 330 to 310 feet per second. And they've done that reliably the last 8 years. So we really like the Elite Force pistols. Now, if you're in a warmer climate environment, such as the southern part of the United States, then usually we'll see more green gas. But there may be some options that, like this guy, a subcompact single stack 1911 that cannot physically fit a 12 gram CO2 canister inside of. I mean, just a side-by-side comparison, there is not any room on the magazine here in order to comfortably fit a regulatory system. So the lower PSI green gas, which is an output pressure of about 120 PSI, is usually more beneficial because they're not restricted via the canister size. So we can have the really small, really compact pistols in a green gas configuration if you have a little bit more particular of a taste. Now, for some people that travel around, such as myself, for different events or different games, we may pick up different types of alternative brands of pistols. For myself, the Elite Force Glock series, which comes stock in most cases with a green gas magazine, which still will comfortably shoot around 300 feet per second. But with a full green gas fill, we'll probably get a mag and a half, maybe 2 magazines of BBs through here before we'll need to re-gas the magazine. Versus grabbing the VFC CO2 magazine that does fit in comfortably and is compatible with that single fill of CO2. I can actually get anywhere from 3 to 4 magazine fills of BBs before I need to change that CO2 canister. So overall, we see more shots per gas fill on the CO2 side, but we see a little bit more cosmetic advantages with green gas. Within colder temperatures, CO2. Within warmer temperatures, green gas. So that's generally what we suggest as far as those. It's a conversation you got to have with yourself as far as what's going to be the best fitment for you. Now, forget pistols for a second. Now let's talk about CO2 and green gas within a rifle platform. For green gas rifles, I have my KWA LM4, an awesome system and has been in manufacturing for a very long time. This comes in a green gas magazine system, and it's been a very reliable system. However, with being in a northern state, Wisconsin, green gas doesn't perform all that well at around 60 degrees Fahrenheit. So it would be more optimal to be able to use a CO2 magazine. Some of the conflictions is that I have a CO2 magazine for it. This is from a third-party manufacturer, and while it does fit and it does feed and it does fire, this magazine, which was advertised at 350 feet per second, actually shot 550 feet per second. So very much not usable for any of my circumstances. So you will also need to be aware and careful as to where you get your additional accessories for your rifle systems. There are going to be a couple of options, only 1 or 2 on the Airsoft market, that are going to be a CO2 rifle system. The reason why we don't see many more is because due to that full auto feature and that high PSI pressure of CO2, When we have all of those valves open on a gas blowback rifle, all of that high pressure systems will tend to overgas those internal valves and tend to break things loose, which we very much do not want on our more expensive gas blowback rifle systems. There are, just to tease you, there are some CO2 gas blowback rifle systems from KWA that have been shown off and showcased at SHOT Show and are supposedly still in production. So fingers crossed that they do actually make it into a final production state, but we still have no ETA as to those. But for now, we are stuck with utilizing green gas magazines still on a gas blowback rifle system. On the market, you also have different types of gas shotguns, CO2 and gas bolt action rifles. You have just a spackling of different rifle systems available in green gas or CO2. Same thing with this guy. You will need to be a little bit more selective, do your research, and see if they're coming from a reliable manufacturing plant, and if anyone has had similar or other issues with those rifles. So just be aware. That's what I got for you guys. If you have any further questions of CO2 versus green gas, put them down to the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer them, but we're all done here. So you guys take care, stay safe, stay positive, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.